From Calexico to Nunavut, from the Aleutian Islands to Newfoundland, and through the Puget Sound. This is the Dynasty Pulse. Producer! Got it. Welcome to the Dynasty Pulse, everybody. Part of the Fantasy Football Plus radio network. Part of the Fantasy Football Plus network. Today is draft day, and I mean that in two different ways. We're doing a rookie mock right now. It's the final rookie mock that we're doing before all the landing spots happen tonight. Yesterday or a couple days ago, if you're watching this video, in the first round of the 2024 NFL rookie draft. I am Biggs. He is Grindberg. We have a special guest today.
We do.
All the way via satellite from Kent, the area around Kent, Washington, south of Seattle. We have Jesse Moeller in the house. Let's go. Hello, Jesse.
Hey, how y'all doing? I appreciate you guys having me on. It's nice to see the intro, and then like when you're a part of the intro, it feels like hits a little different, right? So yeah, it's a fun little kick, get the energy going, and yeah, I'm ready to chop it up with you guys.
Let's go. We're gonna do this 2024 4-round rookie draft. Do we want to invite some of the people, see if they want to get on the stream, or just keep it intimate?
Let's keep it intimate. Yeah.
Okay.
We only got a little bit of time here. We're all busy with the draft prep. Yeah.
Big. You only have a little bit of time.
Oh, come on. We all got a lot going on today, Biggs. We all know it, right?
Sure. But after this, I'm clear till 5. Hopefully you guys all watched the Undroppables live draft extravaganza hosted by Grindberg and I over on the Undroppables channel the other day during the first round of the NFL rookie draft. I got pretty drunk, I gotta say. I don't remember much, but we had a lot of fun tonight.
Exactly. So Jesse, tell everybody where they can find you and all your stuff before we get into this draft, because we need them to see, all the awesome stuff you guys are doing over on your network. Yeah. So back in January, me and a couple other lunatics, Aaron St. Dennis, Jeremy Shulin, and Essie Romero, decided to start our own website and business, the Fantasy Football Universe, fantasyfootballuniverse.com. You go check it out. You can find us on Twitter. It's the Fantasy Football Universe. Basically, we're on every social media platform. We are degenerates in that form. We've decided to hit every social media. We're like, no, let's not just do YouTube. Let's do TikTok. Let's do Twitter. Let's do Instagram. So, yeah, we keep ourselves pretty busy, you could say. We've done like 150 rookie profiles. So we're finally to have the moment come here and be like, all right, finally all the profiles are paid off. We get to actually draft these guys. We are really excited. But, yeah, we've had a couple shows on there today. So we had our last, technically, landing spot dependent rookie mock. And I was like, guess what? I'm here for another one. So that's what we're doing. And, yeah, you can just check us out there. And you can find me, JMoeller05. Same thing. All the same social media platforms. I don't want to lull you guys to sleep here with it, so
you're good. From the Dynasty Pulse, we got to give some shout outs to Aaron St. Dennis, fellow Canuck, to Mike Grindberg, and also the first person that put me on a podcast. And I really appreciate that. He was my first guest spot, and shout out Aaron. Also, Essie Romero, former partner at DynastyProsFootball.com.
Yeah. And Jesse and I and Essie have done some work too through a High Point there back in the day. So like we have some affiliation there as well. So and Aaron as well. So yeah, good stuff, guys. Okay, I'm gonna get this draft going because people are waiting in the queue. So we are starting it off. And
I got the 4. Don't snipe me, Grindberg.
I'm gonna snipe you.
You're not gonna snipe me. Don't snipe me.
Caleb Williams. Boom.
All right. Share the screen, buddy.
Oh, shoot. I'm going to share the screen here. Sorry, folks.
People are probably like, who are we taking? Like, you know what? We'll just do this mystery. You don't got to worry about it.
It's a super flex. I don't care.
He said, I don't. Yeah. Is it tight end premium or are we just taking our guys?
Just take your guys.
Oh, baby. Don't tell me.
Super flex. Yeah.
So as fun as these quarterbacks are, and I've been preaching to take quarterbacks like nonstop, I'm gonna take my guy because I love this guy, and it's Romo Dunze. He is the guy that I'm just head over heels in love with, and I know people say because you're in the state of Washington, yeah, I get it, but he's also a freaking fantastic wide receiver. We saw what Matt Harmon came out with, and then everyone kind of jumped on board with me. They're like, "Oh, he's really good." I was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying." So yeah, I'm just gonna lock in just a certified top 10 Dynasty wide receiver.
You fell right into my trap, Jesse Moeller. I wrote a Debbie dilemma last year for DynastyProsFootball.com, and I compared Romo Dunze and Jalen McMillan, pre-injury Jalen McMillan, and I said I will let Jesse Moeller take Romo Dunze at the 5. I'm taking the Jalen McMillan value later in the draft. So
I like that.
Don't take him in the second round. God damn it. That's the only way. That's the only way you're getting him.
He's my rookie wide receiver 10, so I'm high on both him and McMillan. So if I do snipe him for you, I apologize in advance, but I cannot contain myself sometimes.
Let me ask you this, and everybody out there in viewership land, keep in mind this is pre-landing spots. Where do you have Jalen? Where do you have the 2 Jalens ranked? McMillan and Polk. Where do they sit for you?
Polk is a little bit lower. He is my rookie wide receiver, like 15-ish, give or take. I think he's I think McMillan could just step right in and play the slot receiver. Polk is a little bit, and I know he got hyped up, but I'm a little bit more worried about him fitting into the NFL offense.
And McMillan can also move out to the outside too, and he can
back on that. But I'm with you. I think he could do a little bit more than just play slot.
He's going to be
guy. So you go with Dunze there. Do you have him like slated like in the same tier as Neighbors, or do you have him ahead of him? Or are you a Neighbors guy? Like what's your take on those guys?
I have the top 3 wide receivers all in the same tier. So if you want to pick your guy in there, I'm not going to argue with you. But I have I have Harrison, Odunze, and Neighbors in that order. And then it's just a giant cliff. Like if I can't get the top 3 wide receivers, I'm more than likely going to wait a while to take the next 4th wide receiver, because the spot right where the 110's at, it's just like, it's really landing spot dependent. So I really want to do everything to get in that top 8 to get one of those top 3 wide receivers. Like that's my goal in every rookie draft if possible.
So everybody go over to the Undroppables. Well, actually, no. It'll be on the Dynasty Pulse. My chat with Chalk at 101 Chalk on rookie wide receivers, and we discussed A.D. Mitchell. He's on the do not draft list. His profile coming out matches, and not to reveal too much of the unscore, but it matches with Demario Douglas and A.T. Perry, which is not somebody that you want to be drafting in the second round of your rookie drafts. So
I get it. His profile sucks. Like there's no way to phrase it other than his profile is awful. Like you just have to, if you're drafting him, you have to live with that, accept how risky of a prospect he is. It's just, there's no way around it. The film looks great, but like, what's that get you?
And we do have to shout out the Undroppables and that unscore, because it's gonna make some waves. Those guys, Wiz, Jax, Chalk, they've been working really, really hard to come up with this model for wide receivers in the NFL. And it's the way that they tested the validity was looking at where Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase were, and Jamar Jefferson came out with the highest score in the model. So there you go. And RVGV. A.D. Mitchell, the aforementioned do not draft, goes at the 201. That is something that I am counting on other people to do, and loving it. Don't take my guy, Mike. Don't take my guy, Mike.
My guy's going to be gone before your guy can be there. So
don't take my guy, Mike.
He's my guy, actually.
He's
fighting over him.
I'm higher on him than you are. We went over that.
Okay, fair enough. And he's gone anyway.
And he goes.
So yeah, we're both really we're Lad McConkey truthers over here on the Dynasty Pulse. Now, the interesting situation for me. The wide receivers here.
I do have to say that I feel handcuffed by having taken Brock Bowers. I know he's going to be so good, but I feel like I'm not able to cash in on one of my top wide receivers, and that kind of upsets me.
Yeah, that's kind of the opportunity cost that you take him with, right? Like you're like, you take him and you're happy, but you're like, I got to give up one of those wide receivers. Right. And that's a tough one to make.
Yeah.
Oh, no, my God, Brooks, dang it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to go to Dallas. I have a really strong feeling about that. That's just my hunch. Him or Braylon Allen there, I think, is just going to be awesome smash plays. I'd love to see either one of those guys in the Dallas Cowboy uniform, but I just think Brooks has got so much upside coming off that ACL. You know, his draft stock probably would be a lot higher right now had he not been injured, right? So he'd be talking about like the consensus first round pick, getting him in the second round. I don't see that falling after tomorrow the same way, especially if he gets onto the Cowboys. He'll be a first round pick, I'd assume, in rookie drafts if he lands with the Cowboys. You would think.
Yeah, 100% with you. I just want Braylon Allen to do one thing for me and play big. Can you play big at your size, please? For the love of he does things that drive me crazy when I watch him. He tries to do these like nifty moves, and I'm like, dude, you're the biggest guy on the field. Just truck somebody, please. And if he does that, like, I think he will be successful in NFL. Like, that's all.
You got the biggest truther of Braylon Allen sitting above me here on our triple bunk. He's the top bunk, so he's going to talk about his Braylon Allen and why he loves him so much. Maybe. Aw.
Yeah, Braylon Allen is my number one. Basically, I'm looking at draft profile, period. I'm not looking at the analytics. I'm looking at his age. I'm looking at his breakout season. I'm looking at his size. Everything screams top 12 running back fantasy finishing. And landing spot is going to mean a whole lot. I'm calling him to the Cowboys as the first RB off the board. I think the NFL has been in on him. I think all the other guys are steamed up in the fantasy space, and I think that's a little bit different than what scouts are looking at. And I think that he and Estime go 1-2. With the exception of Jonathan Brooks. If there's a team that has a running back and they have a plan for Brooks to kind of work him in slowly, I think he's a wild card in that 1, 2, or 3 RB position. But Braylon Allen is the most NFL prototypical NFL running back that's out there, and I can see Jerry falling in love with him. And
there's a lot to work with, 100%. Like if they get the best out of him, like he could be an impact fantasy producer. 100% with you on that. It's just like all these guys, they're all landing spots, so it's gonna be a wild day 2 for those running backs. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so we've got at the top of the order here again, looking pretty solid. I mean, nothing is really standing out here as a reach so far, I'd say. I like your Pearsall move there. People would say that's a reach, I'd say, but why don't you explain that one to us there, Jesse, a little bit, and why you're so high on Pearsall and why you need to get him there?
I think he's a guy that's going to step in and produce from day one. Like, he does everything you want out of these kind of slot hybrid wide receivers that can also play outside. We talked about this with McMillan. I think he's a better version of McMillan of what he can do in an offense. Like, we see Pearsall, he can make the big plays. He plays a little bit bigger than his size, and he does everything you want out of that slot wide receiver. So if you want to push him downfield, he could do that. He's very similar to Ladd McConkey in that way of he could do a lot of things and be a Swiss Army knife. I think I comped him to the Cowboys in the second or third round where I put him there, and I thought matching him and CeeDee Lamb creates a ton of mismatches for defenses. So I thought a team that could use a slot plus wide receiver, he fits into that role. And when I watched his tape and studied him, I was like, you should have better stats. What you could do, your stats. And I know if you want to do the analytics with him, it's a little bit risky, but I just love the player.
I do have to give a disclaimer right here. I have a league mate. She is drafting. She has JJ McCarthy and Braylon Allen so far, sweating glitter. My girl Charlene, she's one of my Scott Fishbowl live draft compadres. And so I am taking guys that I'm not going to take in our rookie draft coming up next week.
Smart move. I like it.
Like Devontae Walker, who is on my not draft list.
Oh, yeah. That's not a giveaway.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too good.
Shaken Baker, I was going to take him, but I thought he would slip. So we got some savvy. Aaron took a nice stab there. I like that pick.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of Javon Baker. I love his. He's got some issues maybe outside of the field that maybe people are discouraged about, but the metrics there I think are spot on. What do you think, bigz?
Yeah, and I was watching the Travis and Wiz's podcast earlier today, and they were saying exactly about Javon Baker what I was saying about Brendan Rice when at the combine. Swagger, attitude. You want a guy. Travis was saying that his favorite receiver is guy that just slipped my mind. What's his name? The spike the ball in the star guy. I can't. Why did that just escape me?
Terrell Owens?
Yeah, Terrell Owens.
Okay.
God,
Yeah.
damn it. Terrell Owens is his favorite wide receiver, and one of the reasons is because of his attitude and the fact that Javon Baker came out and said, "I'm the best wide receiver in this class." I mean, you like when somebody is like that, you can't really argue with them, and a lot of times the work ethic goes with that, and that's what makes a Jerry Rice a Jerry Rice. Brendan Rice had the same kind of attitude at the combine or the Senior Bowl. And Brett Coleman touched on it. Like he asked him, like, who do you comp yourself to? And he was like, nobody, I'm me. Like just the way he carries himself. So I really like that about Javon Baker. Those things are important.
All right.
You need that.
And right after I said that about like not drafting anybody that I really want, I almost said my ideal draft would be.
Yeah.
It's like, hold on, wait a second, the wrong show. I can't do
it.
You're hilarious. Yeah.
Let me wait.
You're going all of what you normally do. Here we go. That's fun.
Yeah. There you go, Jesse.
There's my guy Shipley. I like him too. It's interesting how we get this time of year and you like so many players, and then drafts the landing spot and they go round 5 and you're like, well, I'm going to take that guy off my list, which is what I've had to do with Bucky Irving. I'm like, man, he's just not going to get draft capital.
No, he won't. Yeah.
It sucks. Which is why I can get him in like the 4th round and I'm fine with that. It's because it's the 4th round pick, right? So it's like, it ain't going to cost me anything. So I don't mind throwing darts at that range. But yeah, that's just how it goes.
I'm going to snipe bigz here.
No, you're not.
I'm going to snipe bigz here.
Ooh, Burton's a good pick.
That's a terrible pick, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I am really out on that guy.
He said, how dare you?
Yeah.
Oh, I got sniped on Aaron. Fuck you, Aaron. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear, but Aaron took my guy.
No. Don't worry. We're good here.
Okay.
So, Jesse, you must have watched the Dynasty Pulse episode that I did with Andrew Cooper on all of the rookie tight ends, because he has Senna as his number 2.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to get him on the podcast, and he's like, listen, I'm not preaching to the choir here. He's like, but I also like Ben Sinnott too. And we're also like, that's what we're talking about. Like me and Jeremy Schulman call him the Juggernaut, because we watched the snow game and he was just absolutely dump trucking fools. And we're like, yeah, I love that. And you see kind of what he could do in that offense. I'm like, he's a guy, like, it depends. Landing spot, obviously very crucial with him. But if he goes to an open tight end room, I think he could step in and be an impact player for them. Maybe not super fantasy relevant, but I think there's upside attached to that. So at this range of the draft, I'm like, sure, why not?
I really liked the idea of him to LA, either one of the 2 teams. And, shout out at Koopa Fiasco, friend of the show. Everybody go to the Fantasy Alarm, watch that guy. Watch the videos that I did with him and make yourself a tight end expert too.
Yeah, I love how he basically was just kind of forced in that direction, and he's become like the tight end guru now. I was like, hey, that's the way to make it in the career. Like, it's congrats to him.
One of the
really good job.
He was name dropping in our podcast. Like, he has a relationship with Jake Butt. Like they talk tight ends, and I'm like, and he's like, I don't know if you know Jake Butt. I'm like, of course I know Jake Butt, Michigan legend Jake Butt.
Like, come on, dude. Come on. You're like, I know.
Everybody knows Butt.
That's funny.
All righty.
So
we're
who
just
like
about to finish up.
Who are some sleepers that you guys are kind of like focusing on the 4th round without maybe giving away your guys' bigs? But like, are there certain guys in the 4th round that you were targeting in rookie drafts?
The back end wide receivers that fall and running backs.
Yeah. There's a handful of running backs I like in there. Like I was hoping that some of these guys would be less known, but we'll see what happens. Oh, is that it? We finished our draft.
We are done.
I guess so.
Yeah, Shipley has been going in the fourth in a lot. It looks like he's going to get a little steamed up,
Steam,
and
yeah.
especially with a good landing spot, it's going to start to get really hard to draft in there. But I really like him in the fourth round. Ray Davis is not off the board. I would like him in the fourth round. Goran Garendo too. Jace McClellan. Blake Watson is another one that a lot of people are really sleeping on. He comes from the Memphis running back factory, and not to be a helmet scout, but his athletics are off the charts. There were he would have had the highest explosion score in the history of the combine at running back if they had allowed him to do the combine.
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't get an invite. I was like baffled when he did not get an invite. I was like, you're gonna invite all these running backs, you're not gonna invite Watson? I was like, man, that's unfortunate. But hey, that just means it's more value for us. So I'm all for it.
There's a handful of wide receivers I like in the fourth, like Burton, Thrash, and then who you picked in the fourth round there, Malik Washington, and also Jacob Cowing also can maybe, depending on where he could slide in as well. Mm-hmm. I like where that could be. The Tank Dell clone is what they call him, but he can see flashes as well. So yeah, I like the wide receivers still deep, and Kamani Vidal is a guy that I'm really high on as well. He's in my top 10. I think he's ranked my 7th running back going off the board. I think he's very versatile, what he can do. So I like him as well. He's a target, especially if he gets, 4th round draft capital. I think that would be really good on his behalf, and he could probably slide in there right away and be a contributor. So those are some guys that I'm looking at.
Yeah, like especially in a small school, right? Like if he gets 4th round, I'm on board with that.
I'm looking at the 4th round, and I just gave you a bunch of names of guys that went undrafted. But Brennan Rice, Jermaine Burton, Jamari Thrash, Jaheim Bell, Ben Sinnott, Malik Washington, Jake Cowing, Kamani Vidal, Dylan Lobb, and Johnny Wilson. Every single one of those guys, I'm going to be mad if I didn't get them in the fourth round. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like this 4th round there's so many guys in this draft. This draft is so deep, and I would go out there and trade for 4th rounders, because those are the guys that you're going to get. These guys that would be 2nd rounders in other drafts.
Yeah, I think
there's so many guys like that. Just stock up on them.
Yeah, the depth of this class stands out to me more than anything else. There's so many guys. Like you get more dart throws, and they usually more chance of hitting. Like I like that policy a lot. Like that's a good strategy.
Yeah. If there is a strategy to with this running back class that people portray as a little bit weaker, there's probably going to be one guy or two guys in this 4th round that are really going to hit and find their role. You know what I mean? In an offense, like a Austin Eckler role, potentially, like Will Shipley, like we're talking about, a guy that could come in. I know bigz is really high on Shipley. He hasn't stopped talking about him for the last 3 weeks. So I know a lot about him now. And he's a guy, he's got that profile like Jahmyr Gibbs, as bigz was talking about, but he's bigger. He can do those things. And if he can, the only thing he's lacking there will be the draft capital. So another guy who, if he can get, a 4th round, 5th round draft capital, can be a guy that can come in and be a guy that you could look at right away. But it looks like he's going in the 3rd round. He may even sneak into the 2nd round if he gets that draft capital too at this stage in rookie drafts. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, if I have enough 2nd round picks, I'm definitely going to be targeting him when it comes. Like I'll grab 3 or 4 wide receivers, and then back into the 2nd round, I'll be like, all right, I'm going to grab Shipley now while I have a chance. But yeah, go take your I said his name before, your A.T. Perry's, your Gabe Davis's, your Joshua Palmer's, guys like that may or may not slot in as a wide receiver 4, and go trade them for 3rd and 4th round picks. Like just start offering all over your league and stock up on these rookies, because there's a lot of really good ones. I talked throughout the Dynasty Pulse Rookie Expert Series or Positional Expert Series about the new era of positions in the NFL, and how these wide receivers are coming out so polished as freshmen. they're different. These kids are built different than they used to be. They're showcased in YouTube videos. They have these derbies where they go out and they run routes against cornerbacks, and it's all put on film. And it's just like a big thing in the town that they're in. And there's an emphasis on it. The kids playing flag football, they're learning how to like run routes early. They're learning about hip drop. They're learning about all these things that in my era, people didn't care about. Those were things that you learned on a more advanced level. These kids are learning it at 8, 9, 10 years old, and it's starting to bear fruit in college football. And now over these last couple of years, it's starting to hit at the NFL level, and it's just going to like you think the NFL is a passing league now? Wait until we're 4 deep of Malik Neighbors on a team.
That would be something fantastic. I would love that. And to your point, yeah, like these kids are coming out so much more polished because they've been treating this like a job or a career very much earlier in the process. Like it's not where you're like, oh, go play ball. They're like, no, I'm 10 years old. I'm going to try to make this a career. So you see that, and it's translated with all these first round picks and second round picks. They come in and they can step in from day one and play. You don't need to wait the traditional 3-year with Dynasty. And I think that's the biggest shift we've seen in the Dynasty market, where people are like, nope, 3 years, I'm out on a player. I'm not waiting that long anymore. So it's fun to see like the new Dynasty era we play in.
It seems like it's
Think of it this way. You have a kid like Kojo Antwi who gets recruited by Brian Hartline at Ohio State and can't get reps. You have other guys that get recruited to Ohio State. They're good enough to get recruited by Ohio State and wind up having to transfer out. Then they go be a wide receiver one at another school. I mean, that's Jamison Williams is one of the perfect examples of that. It's like we're in a different era, and all these guys are going to be really good.
It's almost like it's bridging the gap a little bit now with how good these guys are coming out of college. You know, we're seeing guys like a Puka Nacua putting up 1,400 yards in a season on his rookie year. You know, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, these guys are coming out and putting up, you know, top 5 wide receiver. It's only a matter of time before a rookie comes in the league and actually, you know, becomes wide receiver one, and that might actually happen this year. It could actually happen that way, and we're seeing a good evolution. And bigz has nailed it. You know, the way that they're training these days, they're coming out of the stable way more cut, way more in shape, and knowing the game a lot more. So it's really cool to see. And you're seeing guys smaller now entering the league and being very, very viable in these roles, like the Tank Dells, the Devontae Chans, who, you know, are smaller guys, but they're finding their spot in the league, and, you know, they're finding a way to be successful. And that's why this draft now is becoming so populated with guys, because we're seeing a prototype of a player that wasn't ever showcased in the past, because they were seen as a deficiency, and now they're using those things and exploiting them, and the coaching's getting a lot better too. So it's really awesome to see what's happening, and sky's the limit now with this class. I'm excited for tonight. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, keep in mind that Puka Nacua went in the 5th round of my home league last year, you know, and had the best wide receiver rookie season of all time. You know, I mean, that's what we're looking at with 4th rounders. That's why I'm going to try and just scoop up as many as I possibly can.
Yeah, I think coaches are doing a lot better job of focusing on what you can do instead of what you can't, right? And they're forcing those players to do what they can do and putting them in position to succeed. Obviously, you see guys like Treylon Burks, they get the bad luck and they get forced to play the X wide receiver when they're a slot, and sometimes that still happens. But from overall process, you see coaches, staffs, offensive coordinators be a lot smarter with how they process talent and do it, because, I mean, it makes sense. Like, you don't got to force a square peg in a round hole. If they fit into a certain slot, use them that way, and like they can succeed. Same thing with Take Dell, Puka Nacua, all those guys.
Treylon Burks is the most unfortunate waste of talent I've ever seen. To go through what that guy went through as a junior breakout, an early declare, just like his athletic profile was great. He ran a limited route tree in college, but he absolutely torched professional D-backs at Alabama, and then he goes to Tennessee, and it's like, come on, put him in Cincinnati, like put him in Miami, give him something. And he goes to the Malik Willis, Will Levis, Ryan Tannehill, like legacy of quarterback play on a Derrick Henry team. and then they go ahead and they trade for DeAndre Hopkins, and now they sign Calvin Ridley. It's like, bro, like
it's about as bad luck as you could roll. If you replayed his career about 100 times, I think this is the worst case scenario for him. Like, it's just
you literally traded AJ Brown away so that you could like bring in his prototype and then just shit on him. Like, what was the thought behind that? Just sad.
It's unfortunate sometimes. Landing matters.
Let's go over our teams real quick here, guys, and just do a quick once over, and then we'll get on our way for the day. What do you like about your team, Biggs? What are your strengths here? Obviously, you like the tight end.
I'm loving Brock Bowers. Jaheim Bell, I think is a great. He's a great 4th round pick. Just based on his athletic profile, and he can be kind of a smaller, more athletic tight end than we've seen. Keon Coleman, I'm all right with. Devontae Walker is one of my avoids. I just took him for some subterfuge with Charlene, and so yeah, if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably do it differently.
Yeah.
But that's what mocking is all about.
Yeah. Jesse, go over your guys. You get your very wide receiver heavy, it looks like, but you like what's going on there, I bet.
Yeah, can you tell I like the color blue just a little bit? Maybe?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
No, I just basically just played it with value, and like these were where I have these players kind of ranked. Obviously, if I was doing it and I needed a quarterback, I just take Drake May because he's my quarterback too. But in the team with these made up teams where I don't have needs, and I'm just taking the best player, I think Odunze is the best player of those guys. So I'm like, then Pearsall, I think Pearsall is just a weapon on an offense where they could use him in a bunch of different ways and involve him. So I love that. McMillan, similar to Pearsall, maybe he's like 90% of that, but he's another guy that's a slot plus that could do a lot in today's NFL. So if this was 5 years ago, I wouldn't be as bullish on these guys. This year I'm in. And like Blake Washington, he is another smaller guy, but I don't care. I love what he could do for an offense. So in the 4th round, it's all about taking hits on guys you think that they can hit ceilings or go for you. So I like taking the shot on Blake Washington because Ben's not was sniped for me the pick before. I'll take the wide receiver I like there and just roll with the all blue team.
So what would you do if the Seahawks drafted Odunze, McMillan, and Penix?
I'd be like, we're gonna throw it for 700 times this season because otherwise I don't know what we're doing. Oh, it would be air raid. We need to call it Cliff Kingsbury and bring him in as offensive coordinator and just go for that because that would be interesting to say the least.
How about you, Grindberg? What do you think about your neighbors Brooks, Lloyd, and Thrash stack?
I actually quite like it. These are guys I'm all really high on compared to, some other guys that like, certain running backs over others. Like I like the Jonathan Brooks. I like Marshawn Lloyd. I like what he brings to the table. I think that he could potentially get into an offense that will use him right away. He's a decent pass protector. He's good at catching the ball out of the backfield, which I think is really good in this NFL. So he can slide in as a complimentary back right away, but he does have some chops to run up the middle as well. So I really like Marshawn Lloyd. I think if he can get into a team like the Chargers, I would love to see that, being reunited with his offensive coordinator there, but we'll see what happens with that. I do like Jonathan Brooks as well. Like I mentioned, when I drafted him, I just think the landing spot is going to be dependent, and I'm a little wary about that ACL, obviously, but we've seen guys come back from that now with modern medicine, so it's not as big of a deal as it used to be. And Jamari Thrash in the 4th round, I love that dart throw. He's got the size that I like in that type of wide receiver, so I'm really excited about that. And if I can get a Jamari Thrash in the 4th round, I'm taking that every day of the week. Us, especially, I know Biggs is very high on Thrash. I think.
No, I'm not.
No,
I don't want him at all.
Yeah. So he doesn't have him as a top 10 guy in this rookie class. There's no way he's even in the top 7 for Biggs, but he is for me, and I like Jamari Thrash, so that's why I picked him there. So
I think Jonathan Brooks in Dynasty he's pretty safe. I think if we were in a redraft league or a best ball league or something like that, he's an avoid across the board.
Yeah.
But in Dynasty leagues, getting him in the 2nd round and kind of like waiting on him, because one of two things is going to happen. You're gonna build around him. You're not going to be getting him to imagine him as an RB1 or 2 right off the bat. So you're going to have other options. and then he's either going to become the RB1 of the class like we know he can be, or he's going to pop off and you're going to be able to move him for incredible value for a second round running back. So again, keep in mind, guys like Kendre Miller and Roschon Johnson were going in the second round last year, and you see like what they have amounted to so far. So take Jonathan Brooks with impunity in the second round. Now, Jesse, you made a good point. It's a mock draft, and you're not looking at a team with positional needs. So you're basically just taking the BPA. I tend to look at mock drafts less like when I go into mock drafts, I don't ever take quarterbacks, because I know that quarterback for me in a draft is going to be completely team dependent. If it's a startup, it's one thing, but if it's like, especially a rookie mock, there's no way for me to know which quarterback I'm going to be looking for and where, unless I know the roster that I'm building with. Right. So I tend to just not mock quarterbacks whatsoever. I look at mock drafts as kind of, I pay more attention to where guys are going, so that in my future I can see what other people are thinking rather than who I'm actually picking in the moment. How do you approach mock drafts? Is it in a similar way?
Yeah, I kind of like to punt quarterback and see where it goes, because it is you talking about situations matter so much with that, and we're really bad at quarterback evaluation. The smartest quarterback evaluators still suck at it, so it's really hard without knowing where these guys end up to be like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna be good. Obviously, I think Caleb Williams is going to be that guy, but still, to play this out, yeah, I much prefer to go with the skill position players and see where those guys fall and build the teams that way. I just think it's a much more fun way and enjoyable way to build and give yourself an idea of like, if I go this route in my process, how's my rookie draft look moving forward? So yeah, that's kind of my strategy.
Twinsies. Yeah, quarterback is what I always imagine when I'm in a rookie mock is when I pass on a quarterback and then somebody later takes them, I kind of laugh at the idea of them thinking, oh my God, I can take JJ McCarthy at the 7. When it really comes down to it, I'm taking him at the 4.
Exactly.
in a real life
he's getting pushed up every time. That's why the mocks are fun. It's like, oh, I got him at 111. It's like, well, that's not happening in the draft, but enjoy it.
Right. And shout out to my girl Charlene, who said in the chat she was having a problem with her queue. It wasn't scrolling up, and I said, oh no, Charlene, you lost the mock draft. Like,
that was pretty good.
That's good.
Make mistakes in mock drafts. It's fine.
It's not the end of the world. It's a mock
So
draft.
what do you got going on tonight, Jesse? You must be busy with the boys.
Yes, me and the boys are going on in about like an hour or two. We are getting ready to do basically an all-night thing where we're doing giveaways on the Fantasy Football Universe Network. We're having guests on. We're just going to turn it into a party, have live reactions, enjoy ourselves. So every half hour, we're either having a different guest on or a guest going to take a half hour, an hour spot and just cycle through the night, talk about the picks, the players, who's a faller, who's a riser, and just, enjoy our night. I got my wife to take the night off so she gets to watch the daughter. So this is like my night. I get to enjoy the fantasy football and do all that fun stuff. So yeah, I'm just excited. I don't know about you guys, but I am pretty excited for it to get here because we've been doing this for feels like 4 months now, where it's been like, all right, I am ready for the rookie draft. So yes, I am very excited.
I gave my wife the night off so she could babysit. That is
that's what it is.
Yes. Yeah. I love it. Biggs, what are we doing? Well, we have a huge night planned because we are doing the live stream for the Undroppables. So we're going to have a bunch of guys dropping in throughout the night, hanging out, talking about their teams. We've got the Uncovered series there. So we got a lot of our team specific guys coming on while their teams are drafting. So hopefully they'll talk about their teams. And then Biggs and I will just keep the conversation going all night with, he's going to be making me some margaritas, I think he was saying.
I'm going to be mixing drinks live on YouTube.
Like it. Yes.
Hammered.
It's going to be a good time.
I want to tell you guys out there in audience land, go over to Player Profiler News on the YouTubes. Mike Grindberg does the Wednesday Player Profiler Today show. I do the Friday Player Profiler Today show. Fantasy Football Advice Network is another great subscribe channel over at YouTube, because Grindberg and I do the fantasy forecast, which is geared towards your redraft leagues for ESPN, Yahoo, NFL.com, CBS Sports. It's nothing but short little 15-minute like bites of redraft content. So go over there and subscribe to that. Find us on the Undroppables. We do the Uncovered series. It's team specific news. Grindberg does Chiefs. I do Raiders. We got the Jets. We got the Patriots. We got the Broncos onboarded. Many Commanders.
Cardinals.
Many more, and we're scaling up to all 32 teams, so that'll be in the future. I just dropped all of the episodes except for the wide receiver stuff, which is coming out a little bit later today, so it'll, when you're watching this, it'll be there on my channel, The Fantasy Burn. I've got great interviews with content creators. I started with Noah Hills, I did Andrew Cooper, I got Chalk and Craig Royth from Roto Heat. Each one of them is a full episode on the Fantasy Burn. The Andrew Cooper one is like 2 hours. So, watch it in chunks if you need to. And then I broke it down right here on the Dynasty Pulse. There is Dynasty content. Over on the Undroppables, there is Debbie content. And then the Get to Know Me content creator interviews are on the full video over on the Fantasy Burn. So go watch that. Find me on Twitter at BigBonedFFB. And watch go back to the Undroppables and watch how hammered I get in that draft special.
And we need to get Jesse on here to talk about where he's from and what are you doing with your guys. Where can we find all your stuff? Obviously,
yeah. So you can find me JMoeller5 on Twitter, Instagram. So all the fun social medias, that is my handle, except for Instagram because someone stole that. So I had to do the one and only JMO, but I don't post that much on there. So it's all the other platforms. And then all of our videos on YouTube. All of our articles, everything is at the fantasyfootballuniverse.com. So you can go to the website, check it out there. Go to the YouTube. We have all sorts of shorts. I think we're up to, I don't even know at this point, too many videos to count with all the rookies and all the players and all the mocks we've done. I think we just got to do our 20th mock, all the rookie videos. So yeah, it's all over there. Go check it out. I would very much appreciate anybody who comes and spends their time with us and, say hi. So yeah, I would very much thank you.
And shout out again to SC Romero and Aaron St. Dennis.
Yeah. Cool, guys. Okay, well, thanks a lot, everybody. I hope everybody really enjoys the draft this weekend. It's going to be awesome. We're finally going to get some clarification on these, landing spots. So it's going to be a great time from all of us on the Dynasty Pulse on the Fantasy Football Plus Network. Thanks for tuning in. And
I hope you win.
Yeah.